Hello everyone, my name is Satyam Raha. In this video, I'll talk about command line argument Java. So the name itself says it's command line and arguments. That means it's about arguments, right? Arguments obviously to some method, and that is done from the command line itself. That is why the name command line arguments. What do I mean by that? Let's first create a file, right? Let's say cla.java. Let's write a simple code, say class void main. Now you see, till now we have seen that in void main we have been using something like this string args. What is that? Basically, this is how the command line argument works. Okay, so in place of args you can have any name. Maybe I can have params, just to clarify. Okay, so this is basically an identifier. Params is an identifier, and string params is basically an array. Okay, so main method is receiving an array of string. Okay, so how does it work basically? So you see, what I can do is I can receive these parameters from the command line while executing my code. In normal scenario, what happens? A method is called with some parameters, right? Normally, when the code is running inside the code, inside the program, we actually call some methods with different parameters, isn't it? But in this case, this is special because main method is called by the JVM, right? You are not calling it. It is called by the JVM. So when it is called by the JVM, how can you provide the arguments? You cannot provide the arguments when the code is running, right? There is no option. You cannot write something like main and send something as maybe Sottam. You cannot do this, isn't it? Can you call the main function in the code? No, you cannot do it because this is one method, one special method which is actually made static so that it doesn't require any object to invoke this method, right? It is called by the compiler or the JVM here, just to mention that main is the starting point of your code, isn't it? Now you see, you actually can send some parameters or arguments from the command line itself. What do I mean by that? So let's say for the time being, I have sent some, say, five parameters. Okay, five parameters to the main method. Now if I have sent that, I must receive it somehow. Let's say I have received it using this string params. Let's print the values. Let's assume I have already called the main method using some parameters. Now, on this assumption, I want to print the values of the string array, which is params. So I can simply write a for loop, I equal to 0, I less than maybe params dot length, right? And I plus plus. So inside these, what I can do is I can simply print it out, right? System.out.println, and maybe a argument for I plus 1 for clarity. Set in it I plus 1. After that, maybe I can put another plus and colon. After that, another plus. Let's say I want to print params of I, right? So this is a very simple code just to print the contents of an array. Okay, and let's make this. Now see, it should work fine. Okay, on the assumption that I have already sent something in the params, right? Let's just hit the code. Okay, let's just save this code. Fine. Let's print the code. Let's see the contents of the code. Cat ca.java. Okay, this is my content of the code. Let's now try to compile it. Java. It's compiled fine. Now the next step is to actually run the code. So this is how we have done it till now. Java CLA, enter, right? But now you see, you can send some parameters over here, right from when you are running the code, from outside the code. This is outside the code, right? You are not actually inside the code. Okay, you are in the command line. You are trying to execute your code. Now itself, you can provide some arguments. Say, I want to send, say, uh, 1 as the first parameter. Let's say not 1, let's say 9 as the first parameter, just to be very specific, to be very clear. Okay, that you do not confuse one with the starting point. So I can have anything, 9, maybe -7. Let's say maybe a string shottam is a third parameter. Let's say another fourth parameter, say a double value 89.09. Let's say another one, let's say Raha. Okay, let's say, and let's say one more CLA. Let's say command line. Okay, command line, let's say. So we have 6 parameters. We have sent 6 parameters after Java space CLA space 6 different parameters separated by spaces, right? So now if I hit enter, you can see the argument number 1 is 9, 2 is -7, 3 is Shottam, 4 is 89.09, 5 is Raha, 6 is command line. So this is self-explanatory, right? I don't think I have to explain after this. I think you got the idea how command line actually works. You can send the arguments right from the command line itself. And it's different from the normal method calls because it's from outside the code. Because you are not calling the main method explicitly. You are doing it, and the JVM is actually doing it. So while the JVM is in control of calling the main method, yet through the command line arguments, what is happening is you are getting some control over your code. You can send the arguments manually, right? So this is how it works. I hope you understood. Thank you.